Good morning, class. Mr. Yavasil here, and today we are going to read The Little Engine That Could. We're going to read it as a class, and I have a couple things that I want us to focus on while we're reading this. Show of hands, who's read this book before or have had somebody read it to you before? Nobody. Perfect. Because that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so one of the things I want to focus on as a class when we're going through is keep track of how many different characters there are, because there's going to be a lot of different important characters in this book. And one of the ways that we'll keep track of them is I'm going to read it first, and I'm going to do different voices for the different characters so you can figure out who is who. Another thing to think about too with this is everybody has a little bit of a different point of view when they're going through the story. So I want you to try to keep track of whose point of view you would relate to the most. Okay, so let's get started. The Little Engine That Could by Watty Piper. Chug, 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 puff, puff, puff. Ding dong, ding dong. The little train rumbled over the tracks. She was a happy little train. I'm going to stop right there. I want to apologize because I was supposed to have the projector having the book being projected up on the screen for me today, and it's not working. So we're just going to have to bear with me, and I'm going to read it in front of you, and I'll try to hold up the picture so you can see as we go along too, okay? Sorry about that. Her cars were filled with toy animals, giraffes with long necks, teddy bears with almost no necks at all, and even a baby elephant. There were dolls and the funniest little toy clown you ever saw. But that was not all. Some cars were filled with good things for boys and girls to eat, and lollipops for after-meal treats. The train was carrying all these wonderful things to the little boys and girls on the other side of the mountain. She puffed along merrily, then all of a sudden she stopped. She simply could not go another inch. Her wheels would not turn. "Here comes a shiny new engine," said the little toy clown, who jumped out of the train. "Please, shiny new engine, won't you pull our train over the mountain? Our engine is broken down, and the boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us." But the shiny new engine snorted. "I pull you? I'm a passenger engine. My train has sleeping cars and a dining car with waiters. I pull the likes of you? Indeed not." And off he steamed. Soon the little clown called out, "Look, a great big strong engine is coming." "Please, big engine," cried the dolls and toys, "won't you pull our train over the mountain?" "I've just pulled the train with big heavy machines. I'm a very important engine indeed. I won't pull the likes of you." And the big engine puffed off. The little train and all the dolls and toys were very sad. "Big Engine is not the only one in the world," cried the little toy clown. "Here comes another. He looks very old and tired, but our train is so little, perhaps he can help us." But the rusty old engine sighed. "I'm so tired. I must rest my weary wheels. I cannot pull even so little a train as yours over the mountain. I cannot. And off he rumbled. By now the dolls and toys were ready to cry. But the little clown said, "Here comes a little blue engine. A very little one, but maybe she will help us." The very little engine came chug-chug-chugging merrily along. "What's the matter, my friends?" she asked kindly. "Will you pull us over the mountain?" cried the dolls and toys. "Our engine is broken down. The good boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us." mountain. But I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And the little blue engine hitched herself to the train. She tugged and pulled and pulled and tugged, and slowly, slowly, slowly they started off. Puff, puff, chug, chug, went the little blue engine. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Up, 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 faster and faster the little engine climbed, until at last they reached the top of the mountain. Hooray, hooray, cried the little clown and all the dolls and toys. The good little boys and girls in the city will be happy because you helped us. And the little blue engine smiled and seemed to say as she puffed steadily down the mountain, I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could. Good story. Okay, so looking back at the story, we want to address how many of the main characters, because obviously we're not going to count, the lettuce or the good food to eat, because that's not necessarily something that's important. One character we're going to count is the clown. So he was one of the main helpers for the dolls and toys. So there's one. A second one would be the original engine that they were in that she stopped for no reason, that we don't know why. But she stopped and she couldn't go. So that's two. The third one is the shiny new engine that wasn't very nice. So that's three. 4 would be the big, strong engine. 5 would be... the rusty old engine. And 6, finally, is the little blue engine. So there were 6 main characters in this story. Each one had a different outlook on life. So what I want you to do as a class is get together with your group, and there's, how many of you are in a group? 4? Okay. So let's have, get with your shoulder partner, and you're going to find a character that reminds you of yourself. So we counted all the characters. 6 total characters. So how many? 6. Now, when I say you're going to get with your shoulder partner and talk about who you relate to the most, that means which one is most like yourself. You want to talk about how each character's view changes and is different from the next one. So I might relate to, let's say, the toy clown, whereas my shoulder partner might relate to maybe the little blue engine. And so you can look at them and see how their views are different. And I want you to talk about that a little bit, and then we're going to come back together as a class, and I want to hear from some of you. Okay? So I'll write it up here so we can remember. And so any questions on any of that? Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to have each person get with your shoulder partner. Everybody in your groups? Okay, good. All right, so with your shoulder partner, take turns. Quietly, you're going to talk about your view and which character you relate to the most. Okay? And when we're all done with that, then we're going to come back together. Okay. Flash forward to the groups coming back together. All right, so what I want to do now is talk about the message of the story. So the overall message of the story, I've heard from all of you regarding how everybody's views are a little bit different, and that's a lot like the world that we live in, right? And so what I want to hear now is, well, I think let's discuss how this story, what is the message that's being portrayed in this story? So some of the engines are looking down at the small train. Some of them think they're more important than the small train, so they don't want to help. And then there's one that comes along, and she doesn't think she's big enough, or strong enough, or good enough. But she's willing to try. And come to find out, she is big enough, she is strong enough, and she is good enough. And so we don't know until we try, and we have to believe in ourselves. Right? So I think it's very important to believe in yourselves throughout every day, in whatever you do. Even if it's something that I ask you to do, it might sound really, really hard. Like when you had to get with your shoulder partner and you had to talk about how you related to a character in this book. That might have been scary for some of you. But if you say in your mind, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think you can do it. And the little blue engine has proved that to everybody by the end of this story because she was able to. And so I think that's a very important lesson to learn in life. And I think we need to carry that with us every day. Thanks, class.